Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where today we will... Wait, hold on, there. Yes, that's right, the watermark is gone, finally! Anyways, today we will be looking at more Angry Birds games that you probably have never heard of. I had a really fun time making this last time, so I'm gonna do this again. This is probably gonna be the last part of this, but I want to do more things like this, just talk about games, Angry Birds games. I plan to do one during Christmas, which is about 5 months away currently, so that's pretty cool. So anyways, with the intro out of the way, let's begin.
Hey Stella, I'm outside your house. Come check out my new car.
Alright, I'm coming out.
There you are. Pretty cool wheels, huh? I'll race you to the beach.
You're on.
Hey, no slingshot. That is cheating. Why, you little...
Last one at the beach is a rotten pig!
The first game we got is a Roblox game. The game is known as Angry Birds Bird Island. This is essentially a role-playing game, but with Angry Birds. Basically, Red tells you to meet with Chuck, who supposedly shows you around, but he just asks if you can come to my house and eat nachos? I don't know. Mom would tell the player about the hatchling, and Silver would tell the player about jobs. Pretty boring, to be honest, but for a while, the game was changed to a different game that was slightly more exciting. This new game was known as Angry Birds Mayhem Simulator, which is essentially a clicker game. The goal is to get past these walls, but you need to buy hatchlings in order to do that. At first, your limit is 10, but later on you can buy more space for hatchlings along with some other upgrades. People were not too happy about this, so Rovio changed the game back to how it was previously, with Angry Birds Mayhem Simulator as a subworld. There is one more subworld, which is named Angry Birds Destruction Simulator. Though you don't get to destroy pigs, unfortunately. Now, is the game good? No, not at all, probably never will be. The only one I had fun with is the Destruction Simulator. Even then, though, I would rather play something like Angry Birds Classic or Angry Birds Star Wars. And for Mayhem Simulator, I like Cookie Clicker. Cookie Clicker has an interesting story, it's just a lot better. Next is Angry Birds Radox. This game is an ad for Radox Body Wash. So how many levels do you think are in the game? Put your answer in the comment or just think about it. About the number of levels you think are in the game. I'll give you 5 seconds. Got your answer? Well, if you guessed 5, then you would be wrong, because there's only one level in the entire game. I gotta be honest, this feels like a beginner programmer made an Angry Birds game in about an hour. The physics of the game feel weird, they do not feel like Angry Birds. It's not like Angry Birds. Also, there is no motion or transition between animations for the pigs or birds. They just looks like someone just downloaded a couple PNGs and depending on what's happening, swap out the PNGs with no transition whatsoever. Bomb does not explode, ever, making him more like Red, and Chuck automatically goes fast. The story also really sucks. It is just Red saying, "Help me, let's smash some piggies. They've taken my Radox 12-hour scent, Dutch body wash." Also, Red appears twice in the cutscene. So obviously they probably rushed this very hard. This is not a good promotion for a product. In my opinion, if it was more like Angry Birds Breakfast, then it would probably be a good game, but it feels very lazily made and not fun to play. Next up, we got Angry Birds Starburst. Once again, the game only has one level, but at least it's playable. Instead of killing all the pigs, though, you have to collect all the Starbursts, but the game gives no hint at that besides that package at the bottom of the screen. I did not figure this out at first, so I did not do it first time. However, when I figured out they need to collect all the Starburst, the game is actually pretty easy. Also, the game's pigs, they're actually kind of moving. They actually have like transitions. Unlike Angry Birds Radox, which I despise. The game is incredibly easy if you know the goal. Overall, I would rather play this than Angry Birds Radox. Next up is Angry Birds Space Assault, which is an unreleased Angry Birds game, which was going to be a spin-off of Angry Birds Space. The game was described as a 3D action strategy collectible game, which is a very interesting concept, I'll give it that. The game's gameplay was similar to Angry Birds 2 with the cards, but it wasn't primarily a slingshot game. Rather, the birds had a ship that they could fly around, which would lead them to solving puzzles. The pigs would also have their own defenses against the birds throughout the level, which could damage the bird's ship if not dealt with quickly. Some of the pigs would have had defenses that would block from the birds from hitting the pigs, and when destroyed would unlock new paths for the birds to travel to. Asteroids were going to be in the game, but rather than using a black hole to destroy pigs, they would just be a collectible, and in order to collect them, the birds would have to solve puzzles to get. Next up is Angry Birds for Kakao. Kakao? Kakao. I'm gonna say Kakao. Released in February of 2015. The game featured a couple new features like a life system, and also the ability to send gifts to your friends, just like Angry Birds 2, which released around the same time as Angry Birds for Kakao. The version had the bird coins before the international Angry Birds release. Due to the Kakao account servers not being available anymore, the game is not playable. There are also some stickers that were available on the service in September of 2015. Roll the music. Next up is Super Angry Birds Maker. Wait a minute. They stole my video! Yes, they stole my video. I made a video about Super Angry Birds Maker back in 2020, basing it off of Super Mario Maker. Well, Rovio, 2 years later, on April 1st, 2022, stole my idea and announced Super Angry Birds Maker, who based it off of Super Mario Maker. I'm going to be suing Rovio later for this. It can only be played on Switch, though. The player can make levels by placing birds, pigs, and other objects down. They can also change the theme of the map. Once the player is done making their expertly crafted level, they can upload it to online for other players to play. So I will be suing Rovio for $100 million for stealing my idea. So if you see any lawsuits about man wins case against Rovio for stealing his idea, that's me. So just look out for that one. Next up is Angry Birds Go Countdown, which was not really a game but a promotion for the then upcoming Angry Birds Go. It was released on October 31st, 2013. The game was removed after Angry Birds Go was released. The game would allow players to get familiar with the gameplay of the game, watch trailers for the game, and get to know the characters. The game would also have points which in Angry Birds Go would be converted to coins, upgrades, and other stuff. This is from the official Rovio website on October 31st, 2013. Start the countdown to Angry Birds Go. Update. We've noticed some questions around the availability of our countdown app, and in turn the availability of Angry Birds Go. To clarify, the availability of the Angry Birds Go Countdown app will not affect the availability of the final product. The game will be launched worldwide on December 11th as planned. The countdown to Angry Birds Go begins today. Get ready for December 11th with this exclusive countdown app, bringing you a sneak peek of our new kart racing downhill extravaganza. If you can't wait to get your hands on the full game, then this app is perfect for you. You can meet the birds and piggies and check out their rides ahead of time. You can even collect daily points right now and earn rewards for when the game is released, such as upgrades for your ride. Our Countdown app will also serve as a companion app for your Angry Birds Go teleport toys. So if you've already bought some, you just teleport them into the app for an exclusive first look. If you can find telepods in your nearby toy store, you can most likely find the Countdown app too. Check below for availability. December 11th will be here sooner than you think. We will not be reading the availability of it because we already know that, probably. I don't want to read it. Next up, we got Angry Birds Go 2, which is not the 2.0 version of Angry Birds Go, but rather a full sequel to it, using the movie designs. Some concept art of the game shows 2 players in one cart, kind of similar to Mario Kart Double Dash. That's all we know about Angry Birds Go 2, sadly. Hopefully though, maybe they'll make it in the future. Maybe they'll use the Toons designs, which I personally prefer, along with a lot of other people. Angry Birds Flip the Bird was available on Facebook Instant Games in mid-2018, but the service is now not online and can't be played. It was also playable on McDonald's tablets in the UK, but the game's name was Angry Birds Drop the Bird. Probably because Flip the Bird in the UK means the middle finger. This game does not feature pigs at all, but just Red, Chuck, and Hal. The objective of the game was to fit the bird in a correctly sized hole. It's presumed the game will go on forever, as no one has found an ending to it. If the player fails, then the bird will fall off the map with a bunch of birds falling after. Once the birds are done, then the game will display your score. The stages in this game are a Cobalt Plateau stage, Jungle stage, and Night Forest stage. Next up is Angry Birds Heroes, which is an unreleased Angry Birds game from around 2017. This was an RPG, which has the designs from the birds from the movie. 2 months after the trailer was released, the game was cancelled. This was cancelled so early, in fact, that it didn't even get a soft launch. The game had similar gameplay to Angry Birds Evolution. There are some differences, like it being from a side view and cards. The players would have unlocked new abilities and new birds over time. After some turns have passed, the birds could use their special abilities. When this happens, an animation would have been played, kind of like Angry Birds Epic, before attacking the pig, doing a lot of damage. Also like Angry Birds Epic, there would have been classes for the birds, those being Red, who is a pirate, captain, and pharaoh. Chuck, who is a cowboy. Bomb, who is a pirate, Viking, and warrior. Robin Hood Bird, Viking Bird of Prey, Viking Bird, and Warrior Bird. In my opinion, Chuck is the best looking here. He looks sick, honestly. I like the Wild West theme. The pigs also return with classes and sizes, which are the following. Small, which is pirate, mage, and modern classes, and large, which is just modern. Do you like gambling? Because next up is an Angry Birds game for gamblers. Angry Birds Champions. Now, due to the gambling of the game, this is the first Angry Birds game to be marked 18+. The game has slingshot gameplay with the Toons designs. The gameplay is pretty much the same as the other slingshot games, but there are new game modes that you can play. The first new game mode is Best of 3, where you can play the same level 3 times and get the highest score possible. Only the highest score of the player gets counted. The second and final new game mode is Progressive Mode, where the player gets 3 different levels in a row instead of the same level. In this game mode, you only get one chance, so the player has to plan everything ahead of time and make sure you have enough skill to actually beat the levels. Every level will be assembled from prefabricated fortress pieces, meaning the players will get a new challenge every time they play. There is also a swap feature in the tournament. The player gets a limited amount of swaps. The swaps, when used, will switch from the bird on the slingshot to the next bird in line, making the game more strategic. Next up is Angry Birds Minecraft. It was teased on April 29th, 2022, and released May 17th, 2022. The plot of the game is sometime after the first movie and before the second movie. The description of the game is, the pigs are back to their old tricks, and it's up to you to stop them. Play as Red, Chuck, Bomb, and other members of the flock. Your mission is to rescue your friends, save the eggs, and stop the pesky pigs' grand plans. With each rescued bird, you'll unlock a new playable character with unique skills that help you pop more pigs and topple more towers. The pigs sneaked onto Angry Birds Islands once again to try to steal all of the birds' eggs. Red must confront Leonard and fight against the pigs. Red frees some of the other birds to help him fight the pigs and rescue the eggs before going to destroy Leonard's castle and beat Leonard. There's also Classic Mode, which has gameplay similar to Angry Birds 2, and in fact, that all the songs used in this are reused from Angry Birds 2. Next up is Angry Birds Islands. This is a very short-lived village building game where instead of the birds and pigs being enemies, they work together. While the pigs build stuff, the birds fight enemies and save piglets, or deliver resources for quests. The beta was launched on March 2nd and lasted until March 11th in Korea for Android users only. And on April 13th, 2017, some Asian countries and the USA. On June 26, 2017, the official Facebook page announced that the game will be cancelled the next day. The IAPs were disabled and the game was removed from the Play Store and App Store. A little over a month later, on July 27th, the game servers were permanently shut down. The game is still downloadable from some third-party sites, but it will not work because the game needs additional resources to load, which needs the servers. Angry Birds Bounce was released for certain McDonald's in 2018. The game used the Kinect sensor for interactive gameplay. I find it kind of weird that they used Kinect, but that does not matter, because that's what they chose. One person who made the game made an article to document him making the game. Angry Birds Bounce is a game I designed for McDonald's. Unlike a regular mobile game, this game uses the Kinect and projects the game onto a tabletop/floor, making a regular surface in McDonald's interactive and full of fun. Table games range from 1 to 6 players, and Magic 4 games can be played by 1 player or more, however many it takes to fill up the space. The game strives on timing, where players try to bounce the birds off a trampoline and back into the sky. Each time an angry bird is bounced, the player is rewarded with a point. If they miss a bird, it falls to the floor and remains dizzy before vanishing. There are also bonus points to collect in falling crates and hidden birds that zoom towards the player. The longer the game is played, the faster and more challenging it becomes. When the time runs out, the player with the highest score is declared the winner. Alongside designing the game, I also created all the UI layouts and assets: timer, score, table sections, title, and intro screens. Game link. As this is a tabletop game that is only playable in McDonald's stores, there isn't a link to play it. However, you can read about the games and where to find a player and to try out the game in person. McDonald's Happy Meals games, which takes you to the McDonald's website, which does not have anything of use anymore because it's just board games now. Angry Birds Double Cross was an action reality game show which was exclusive to Instagram. The ads for the game began on April 6, 2021. The game had several popular creators like PewDiePie as Birdie Pie as Dr. Pig Respect. When the ad was clicked, it would bring you to a page on the Apple App Store. When the download button is clicked, it would bring you to a survey asking you what you think about the game's concept. It is unclear though if this was going to be an actual game or just promoting a concept for a game. The description for the game was, Angry Birds Double Cross is an action-packed 5v5 reality competition show like no other. 10 contestants on 2 islands made up of birds and piggies race to maintain the tallest makeshift tower using they scavenge from their surroundings, all while under constant barrage from the opposing team's attacks. This is a rare breed of reality competition, though as an addition to the 2 teams of players, 1 lucky player each game will be selected to play the unique host of the show. These playful Angry Birds superstar hosts give witty color commentary in real time, offer a leg or wing up on the competition, or wreak havoc on the teams if they wish. flock together, build the strongest tower, and race to beat the other team while dealing with the real-time influence of the show's unique hosts. PewDiePie did not know that Angry Birds were using him in one of his games. Here's his reaction.
The Spirits note about this, yes, it's real. Influence gameplay as a celebrity host. We got Dr. Pig Respect. Birdie Pie! Looking hella Chad, dude. Stella. Who the fuck is Stella? Get out of here, Stella. Skedaddle, Stella. No one wants you here. What is this? Is this Angry Birds? Excuse me? What the fuck is Angry Birds up to? I'm so confused. What is happening here? What's the story? Whatever.
Dr. Disrespect has yet to say anything about him being in the game. Angry Birds Stretch is a game which was not released. On the official Angry Birds YouTube channel, they released a teaser trailer for the game. The description of the video is, coming soon to an app store near you. Angry Birds Stretch. Anger just got longer. Looking for that classic Angry Birds slingshot gameplay? Look no further than Angry Birds 2, because Angry Birds Stretch puts our familiar fierce fowl in a totally new, never-seen-before environment and gameplay experience. Play from a top-down perspective as Red races through the play area, gathers eggs to make Red grow, and to increase your score. Hit a wall and it's game over. Squawk. Angry Birds Stretch hits App Stores very soon for the limited time launch price of only $9.99. And then there's a blog there that you can read about, but I'm not going to. Angry Birds Crazy Golf is a game concept that was first teased on April 3rd, 2022, when certain players of Angry Birds 2 got Piggy Mail. There was also a survey that players could fill out to give feedback on the concept of the game and the franchise as a whole. In the game, you can play as Red and Bomb, with the goal being to get into the nest in the fewest shots possible. Bomb is the only bird who can break stone blocks. To aim and launch the bird, you drag down on the screen. There are also some power-ups which can improve your score, the direction that the spring is facing. And that's it. So guys, if you like this, like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my previous video of Angry Birds games that you've probably never heard of if you haven't already. I had a really fun time making that one, and if you like this one, well then watch it, because I think it was a really good video and I loved it. Probably one of my favorites. Alright, see you guys.